From the CISO series, it's Cybersecurity Headlines.
These are the cybersecurity headlines for Wednesday, February 4th, 2026. I'm Rich Straffolino. React Native Metro bug impacts thousands of servers. Researchers at JFrog found that threat actors are exploiting a flaw in Metro, the native JavaScript bundler for React Native projects. By default, Metro can expose development-only HTTP endpoints for local use to external network interfaces. On Windows, the bug allows for executing arbitrary OS commands through post requests, while on macOS and Linux, it can allow for limited parameter control on arbitrary executables. JFrog disclosed the vulnerability back in November and observed exploitation beginning on December 21st. There are currently about 3,500 exposed React Native Metro servers online. Greece and Spain set to ban social media for kids. A senior government source told Reuters that the Greek government is very close to announcing a social media ban for those under 15 years old in the country. Spain's Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez said the country plans to ban social media for those under 16 and to create a law holding social media executives personally responsible for hate speech on their platforms. Sanchez also mentioned that Spain would join 5 other European countries in a coalition for the digitally willing to coordinate on cross-border regulation of a social media ban, although didn't name the countries. France and Britain are both considering similar age gate regulations, and Australia passed a ban back in December. Moltbook shows the dangers of vibe coding. Moltbook, a Reddit-like forum designed for use by AI agents, i.e. not humans, was vibe-coded into existence by Matt Schlicht just a few days ago. It quickly saw a bunch of agents join up, boasting over 1 million. But security researchers from Wiz and 404 Media found that the platform had a misconfigured Supabase database that allowed for read and write access to its entire production database. This leaked data on account holders, authentication tokens, private messages between agents, and allowed for deleting or editing any and all site content. It also showed that about 17,000 human owners were behind the swarm of bots and had no mechanism to verify if a user was an agent or a human. CISA silently updating vulnerability notices. CISA's known exploited vulnerability catalog has become an industry mainstay for patching and for providing guidance on patching timelines required by government agencies. However, Grey Noise researcher Glenn Thorpe noted that the agency is not giving notice when it changes its known ransomware use indicator from unknown to known. He argues this represents a material change in your risk posture that changes organizational priorities. In an analysis, Thorpe identified 59 flipped vulnerabilities impacting Microsoft, Ivanti, Fortinet, and Zimbra. Of these, 39% were confirmed to be used in ransomware campaigns in 2025 that were initially added before 2023. And now, thanks to today's episode sponsor, Strike 48. Security teams are stretched. Attack surfaces and threat volumes keep growing. Meanwhile, SOC budgets stay flat, and glorified chatbots with hallucination problems aren't helping. Strike 48 is different. Agents scale independently, running investigations across your logs while your team can concentrate on the highest priority tasks that require human judgment and decision-making. Try it today at strike48.com/security. That's strike48.com/security. UK investigates potential cyber sanctions breaches. The UK's cyber regulations of 2020 prohibit ransomware victims from making extortion payments to a list of banned entities and individuals without first obtaining a license from the Office of Financial Sanctions Implementation. According to records obtained by Recorded Future News, the UK launched its first investigation into a suspected breach of these sanctions. The investigation is examining 5 potential sanctions breaches involving firms in the financial services sector. The regulator isn't naming names, so it's not clear if these violations were self-reported or if any funds actually changed hands. Wrongfully jailed pen testers receive settlement. Early in the morning of September 11, 2019, pen testers Gary DeMercurio and Justin Wynn tested alarm systems at a Dallas County, Iowa courthouse as part of a contracted security test. They received clearances from the state and city police for the test. After triggering the alarms, they eventually received a police response and presented their contract with the state without issue. However, when the county sheriff arrived, he arrested them for breaking into county property. This sparked a protracted legal battle in which state officials allegedly backtracked on prior approvals for the work. While charges were eventually dropped, a judge has now awarded them a $600,000 settlement from the county in a civil suit arising from false arrest, abuse of process, defamation, and other damages. Iron Mountain downplays recent breach impact. Earlier this month, the threat group Everest claimed on its leak site that it had stolen 1.4 terabytes of internal company documents, including client information, from the data and records management giant Iron Mountain. The company told Bleeping Computer that this attack used compromised credentials to access a single folder on a server that contained marketing materials. It maintains that Everest didn't deploy any ransomware or impact any other systems. Everest has been active since 2020, serving as an initial access broker and conducting data theft extortion operations. TLS 1.0 put out to pasture. If you woke up today feeling like your cloud storage is just a little bit more secure, it's not just you. Microsoft officially stopped supporting TLS 1.0 and 1.1 for Azure storage services. Both were already deprecated in 2021, but remained available for compatibility. Microsoft tried to cut off these ancient security protocols before, initially scheduled for November 2024, before pushing it back to November 2025. Admins and legacy app developers had until February 3, 2026 to migrate to a more modern version. Remember to join me and two security luminaries for the Department of No each and every Monday. We stream the show live on the CISO Series YouTube channel, helping break down what the news of the week means for your security team. So we hope you can join us at 4 p.m. Eastern each and every Monday for the Department of No. And if you have some thoughts about the news from today or about our show in general, be sure to reach out to us, feedback@cisoseries.com. We would love to hear from you. Reporting for the CISO Series, I'm Rich Straffolino, reminding you to have a super sparkly day.
Cybersecurity headlines are available every weekday. Head to CISOseries.com for the full stories behind the headlines.